You were there, but not really. You smiled, nodded, spoke in perfect rhythm, but your soul was already gone. Somewhere else. Somewhere safer. Somewhere faster. This is the curse no one sees in Gemini. Not the chaos. Not the cleverness. Not the contradiction. The real curse is disconnection. The moment is too slow. Too heavy. Too sharp. Too real. So you leave. Not with your feet, but with your mind. You drift mid-conversation. You dream while working. You imagine while making love. You are everywhere and nowhere. And maybe you've always been this way. Maybe childhood was too intense. Maybe emotions came too fast. Maybe silence was too loud. So you learned to leave before it hurt. And it worked. You became a master of flight. You created worlds in your head where nothing could touch you. Where feelings didn't chase you. Where pain couldn't catch up. But Gemini, what if that escape is now your prison? What if your freedom is keeping you stuck? Because no matter how fast you think, how many thoughts you juggle, how many versions of reality you construct, you still feel the ache. The emptiness when the noise fades. The hollowness beneath the words. The strange hunger that no amount of stimulation can fill. You don't want more. You want here. But you don't know how to stay. That's the paradox of Gemini. Everyone thinks you're light. But inside, you carry a storm. A storm of everything you've run from. Every emotion you never finished feeling. Every moment you didn't let yourself be in. And now it piles up behind you. A haunting gravity pulling on your soul. No matter how fast you move, it follows. And it's getting closer. So hey, race, why you need to stay until the end. Because this isn't a lecture. It's a map. A map to bring you back. To your breath. To your truth. To the moment. To the life you're missing while chasing every version of it in your mind. And maybe, just maybe, you'll realize that what you've been escaping is the only thing that can save you. You are the air. You move, shift, think, speak. Before anyone else even realizes the wind has changed. You were built for brilliance. But brilliance comes with a cost. Because while everyone else admires your quickness, your wit, your mental glow, no one sees what it hides. The overthinking. The spirals. The noise that never turns off. You're not avoiding the present because it's boring. You're avoiding it because it's loud. Louder than anyone could imagine. The present is too much. Too honest. Too raw. It asks you to feel without analyzing. To sit without fixing. To exist without escaping. And that terrifies you. Because deep down, you've confused presence with paralysis. You think, if I stop moving, it'll collapse. If I stop thinking, it'll disappear. If I sit still, everything I've avoided will flood in. So you keep going. Scrolling, switching tabs, filling the silence with another podcast, another idea, another voice. But nothing sticks. Nothing satisfies. Nothing soothes the ache. Because Gemini, what you're running from, is not boredom. It's embodiment. To be in your body. To breathe fully. To feel without judgment. To land. But your soul is tired of orbiting. It wants to be here. Even if here is imperfect. Even if here is scary. Even if here is heavy. And I know. The moment can feel like a trap. Like something you'll be stuck in forever. But the truth is, the moment is the only place you're free. Free from old stories. Free from future fears. Free from the identity you feel pressured to perform. The moment doesn't care about who you should be. It only asks, who are you right now? And maybe that's why you run. Because you don't always know the answer. And that's okay. You were never supposed to have it all figured out. You were supposed to feel it. To live it. To become it. Not later. Not once it's perfect. But now. There's a secret you don't tell anyone. Not because you want to lie. But because you don't know how to say it. You are exhausted. Not the kind of exhaustion that sleep fixes. But the kind that comes from always running. Always managing. Always performing the role of the curious, funny, adaptable one. You wear masks made of brilliance. You juggle 1,000 thoughts to avoid the one that scares you most. What if I stop, and there's nothing there? What if, behind all the stimulation, the noise, the charm, there's just silence? Not peace. Just emptiness. That's your greatest fear. So you escape. Into screens. Into fantasies. Into people who are just distractions wrapped in chemistry. You tell yourself it's about experience. But really, it's about avoidance. Because you know, to truly be present means letting your guard down. And you don't know what might leak out if you do. Grief. Rage. Loneliness. The version of you that never got to speak. You've spent your whole life building castles in the clouds, Gemini. But even clouds collapse. Even you collapse. And when you do, it's quiet. No one sees it. Because you've mastered how to collapse privately, cleanly, invisibly. You tell a joke. You write a post. You distract yourself. You shape-shift out of the moment like a ghost slipping through walls. But Gemini, ghosts don't live. They haunt. And maybe that's why you feel like you're watching your life instead of living it. Like the director of a film you can't quite feel. You're observing, narrating, overanalyzing. But never immersed. Because presence requires risk. And risk means vulnerability. And vulnerability, that's chaos. And chaos is the one thing your mind was trained to escape. But what if you've misread it? What if the chaos you fear is actually where your soul begins? Because in that chaos lives truth. In that chaos, the voices go quiet. The distractions dissolve. And something ancient starts to rise. Not a thought. Not a concept. Not an answer. Just being. The part of you that doesn't need validation. The part that doesn't care how interesting, charming, or productive you are. The part that just is. That is what the present offers you. Not perfection. But wholeness. Yes, it's scary. Yes, it feels raw. But it's yours. And it's waiting. And maybe you've spent so long running that you forgot what it feels like to arrive. But you can. Not by doing more. Not by knowing more. But by slowing down. Enough to hear your own heartbeat. Because that sound, soft, steady, human, is the only proof you need that you're still here. And here is where everything begins. What if staying is the revolution? Not staying in a job. Not staying in a relationship. Not staying in a version of yourself that's already expired. But staying, in this moment. Fully. Nakedly. Without editing it through your mind. It sounds small. Too small for someone as fast and visionary as you. But that's the lie. Because for Gemini, the moment isn't small, it's terrifying. It's the one thing you can't outthink. You can't rearrange it. You can't perform it. You can only feel it. And feeling, for someone like you, is the final frontier. You've built galaxies of distraction, constellations of coping, systems of escape so elegant most people think they're your personality. But you know better. You know that every joke is a shield. Every conversation a way to dodge silence. Every idea, a substitute for truth you've never dared to say out loud. Because what if you said it and no one stayed? What if you showed your real self and it wasn't enough? So instead, you stay ahead. Faster. Funnier. Smarter. Always thinking 5 steps ahead so no one sees how lost you sometimes feel. But Gemini, being lost isn't the problem. Running from it is. Because sometimes, the only way back to yourself is to stop trying to be found. To stand in the middle of your own chaos and not clean it up. To sit with the ache in your chest and not cover it with music or movement. To breathe, even when it hurts. That's presence. It's not about peace. It's about permission. Permission to be human. To be still. To not be dazzling for a minute. To not be okay for a while. Because presence doesn't fix you. It reveals you. And maybe that's what you've needed all along. To remember who you are beneath the performance. Not what you know. Not what you produce. Not what you say to keep people close. Just who you are when you're not trying. And erase the secret the universe keeps whispering to you. In the quiet between thoughts. In the space between breaths. You are not missing life. You are missing yourself. And life is trying to return you to you. Through heartbreaks. Through stillness. Through strange little moments that feel boring on the outside but sacred if you really feel them. That sip of tea. That glance at the sky. That exhale before sleep. These are not meaningless. They are the portals. Not back to some ideal version of yourself, but to the one that was always here. The one who remembers. Who remembers how to slow down. How to listen. How to feel without running. You don't have to earn this. You don't have to fix anything to deserve presence. You just have to pause. And yes, at first it may feel like death. Because something is dying. The identity that was built on escaping. But in that death, something breathtaking is born. A version of you that no longer leaves themselves behind. That version of you is waiting. Not in the next idea. Not in the next version of success. But in the silence between your thoughts. So come back. Come all the way back. To your breath. To your body. To this moment. To your life. If this spoke to you, don't scroll away. You're here for a reason. And more is coming. Stay close. The next truth is already on its way. And this time, you'll be here to feel it.